Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back. Today we're looking at some women getting called out, arguments falling apart in real time, and a few moments where the men are always the problem narrative gets seriously tested. Bro, this one gets wild. But let's get into it. Right after you subscribe, of course.
When you're saying that men have good coping techniques in relationships,
Yes.
I don't agree, Sarah. Come on, man.
What are you
men
saying?
Men can be some of the most emotionally shut off people.
Why do you think that is?
Because women don't create safe spaces.
I agree with that too.
So then that's the argument. Women don't create safe spaces.
Bro, everybody's not like that. Everybody is not like
but
that.
a lot of women are like that. What are you talking about? There was someone that went viral for saying, if I ever see my man cry, I can't be with that man.
That was Kate Michelle.
What?
Who
Cares who it is? It's not about who said it. It's the fact that a lot of women agree with it. And now men really feel like they can't be down. Men really feel like their money can't drop a little bit. Men really feel like they can't go through anything that involves emotional toil because there's no safe space for them. Women date for ego. They don't date to be loved.
Two things can be true at once. Men also date for ego. But why is a thing called a trophy wife isn't a term if men don't date for ego?
A trophy wife is, so those are certain types of men. I'm not talking about the 1% of the 1%
That's not
that
the
wants
1%
a woman
of the
that's just
1%,
going to
Sarah.
show up
Every
and be
man
pretty
wants a
and
trophy
be
wife.
quiet.
And there it is. The conversation starts with men are emotionally shut off, then immediately lands on the obvious question, why? And the answer is uncomfortable. If vulnerability gets mocked, why would anyone keep opening up? Bro is basically saying men should communicate while ignoring the environment that can punish them for doing exactly that. And then the trophy wife argument appears like a smoke grenade. Yes, ego exists on both sides, but that doesn't magically erase the point about men feeling unsafe being vulnerable. Nice pivot, though.
I will move heaven and earth to take you down in this divorce if this is the you decide to play. You have 1 hour to deposit that money, or I swear to God, Vince, I'm calling the cops and telling them how unsafe I feel around you and how mentally and emotionally you've been and how you pushed me up against the wall in the bathroom my last day in that house, and I had to tell you to get off me 3 times. Do you want to be arrested in front of your kids, Vince? Because that I can make that happen. Watch me.
Damn. Who was that on that recording?
That was Leah, my wife.
Okay. And when did she tell you she was having an affair?
I found out, and she didn't tell me at first. She gave me the divorce papers on a Sunday. I found out on a Tuesday from my brother. And when I asked her, she did tell me she was having an affair. And then by that Saturday, she had moved out.
You know, she's saying you gave her like an hour to get out and all that kind of stuff. Can you explain to the court your side of that story?
Yeah, our account of that is a lot different than the week I got back. Well, let's just say my best friend from Bible school had just taken his life, so I went down to Dallas for the funeral for that. The week I got back, I noticed that Leah was kind of cold to me, and we were getting into small tiffs, but she wasn't talking to me. That Friday, she had told me she wasn't in love with me anymore. And I was completely blindsided. Leah's always had a very high, strong value for marriage and family. And I also didn't know she was having an affair, but I said, well, I want to fight for our marriage. We have a lot to fight for. Do you want to fight for our marriage? And she said, I don't know. At the time, I had a lot of trust in my mother-in-law. So I said, I think it's best then for you to go to your mom's house until you figure out if you want to fight for our marriage. If you will go there, she will ask you, is he cheating on you? And the answers are no. And she'll tell you to come back and we will work this out. And I said, I'm going to go get dinner. I think it'd be best for you to go to your mom's house when I get back. I did not want her to leave permanently. I did not know about the affair. I was trying to just wake her up because this doesn't seem like the person I married. But she did come back Sunday, and then she stayed again until that Saturday, and that's when she left. And that was against my wishes. I didn't want her to leave.
Nah, this one is a whole courtroom episode. On one side, you have a recording threatening police involvement and accusing him of physical aggression. On the other, he explains that he thought she was leaving temporarily because he genuinely didn't know about the affair. And that detail changes the entire context. He wasn't saying, leave forever or else. He claims he was trying to create distance and give the marriage a chance to cool down. Meanwhile, the affair was already happening. Bro walked into the divorce storyline without even knowing what season he was in.
I absolutely ghosted him because he was totally disrespectful to my little sister. And I'm just done. It's crazy to me that he has no idea that that's why.
Oh, yeah, I don't play about my sister either. What'd he do?
He's a sales manager, and my sister just graduated from college, so Hudson tried hooking her up with a few different places, but he ended up actually getting her a job where he works, which sounds super nice until you find out a few weeks later that Hudson fired her. My sister said that he replaced her that same day with somebody else, and that ultimately she thinks that, like, Hudson just wanted more dudes on the sales floor.
Dude, your sister's dumb. Like you don't understand that she might be one of the worst employees I've ever seen. It was cartoonishly bad. It was like I was getting punked every time, like, I had to interact with her. Like, every move was done wrong. I mean, she didn't even, first of all, she no-called, no-show for an entire week, like, before finally coming to work. Even when she did work, it was like somehow worse than her not showing up.
Bro really thought this was going to be a heroic protect my sister story until the employee record entered the chat. She says Hudson fired her unfairly and replaced her immediately. Then he drops the nuclear detail. She literally no call, no showed for an entire week. A week. Nah, at that point, this isn't workplace discrimination. That's an employee auditioning for unemployment. And the funniest part? The sister apparently thinks the problem was that he wanted more dudes on the sales floor. Meanwhile, attendance is sitting in the corner screaming, "Hello?"
If you are a man over 30, I'm pretty sure you have seen this before. But this was the first time I encountered it, and I was completely taken aback. I made a video saying no one will give you better advice than a man who sees you as his wife. So my friend who's in her 30s and don't typically watch my videos, somehow she watched that one. And she called me to tell me she didn't like it. Not because of the message, but because of one word, correction. She said the word correction made her feel like a child, that no man should correct her. He should advise her. Help me understand where you're coming from. What do you think correction is? And I kid you not, we spent about 20 minutes going back and forth, definitions, explanations, examples, tone, the whole shebang. And at the end of the conversation, after all of that back and forth and explanation, she still said the same thing. The message is good, just not the word. She told me I had to fix the word. And that's when it clicked. I said to her, do you realize what you just did? You manipulated the conversation. You took a message about guidance and growth and you turned it into a debate about a word. Now the focus isn't on the merits of the message. The focus is now on how the message made you feel.
And there it is. She didn't actually defeat the argument. She changed the battlefield. The message was about guidance, but suddenly we're spending 20 minutes litigating the word correction. Bro, that's like ignoring an entire movie because you don't like the font on the subtitles. If correction sounds too parental, fine, use another word. But turning one word into the entire debate conveniently avoids discussing whether the underlying message is true. That's the gotcha moment. The conversation went from, is the advice valuable, to, did this word hurt my feelings? Different game entirely.
You guys had said that men may not be coming forward about their sexual assault or something like that, but following what I assume most of you believe, that men are physically stronger than women, if a woman comes on to a man and tries to assault him, what's stopping him from just like pushing her off?
Okay, let me throw a statistic at you. Did you guys know that if you take all the domestic violence cases that are non-reciprocal, meaning it's one party being aggressive and the other party is being the victim, that the aggressor is the woman 70% of the time? Are you aware of that?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
How many men are murderers though? Like, yeah, looking at
good. That's another good question. But did you know that almost all the victims of the are men, not women?
That is so
yes,
not true.
It's absolutely true.
Think about like Ted Bundy, like
there's
serial
very
killers
few of those though.
So
if you take all, yes, men are the most offenders when it comes to murder, but they're also the highest share of victims. If men were the primary and 90% of their victims were women, you'd have something. But it's something like 90% of the victims are men. So
This is where the argument starts collapsing in real time. The original question is basically, if men are stronger, why can't they just push a woman away? And the response correctly points out that physical strength doesn't automatically eliminate coercion or abuse. Then comes the murder comparison, and suddenly the room gets quiet. Yes, men commit the overwhelming majority of homicides, but men are also disproportionately homicide victims. So the men are violent, therefore men can't be victims. Argument doesn't work. Bro asked for context and accidentally got the entire statistic thrown back at him.
You tried to make me stay.
Yes, I did. Because I have legal custody of him. Now my child is coming home, and now he's kidnapping him. He doesn't have any time. It doesn't matter. He doesn't have legal custody. I don't understand that.
Okay, we're go. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good job, buddy. Wow.
She tried to slam the door to my own room and force me to stay there. I pushed her as, I would say, self-defense. I did not assault her. I'm not staying there anymore.
Well, Parker Kelly, I'm thoroughly impressed. I'm proud of you, son. You stood your ground. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Okay, this escalated fast. She says, "You tried to make me stay," and suddenly we're hearing about custody, kidnapping, the bedroom door, and self-defense. Then Parker explains that she tried to prevent him from leaving, and that he pushed her while trying to get out. And the reaction from the court is basically, "Good job, buddy. You stood your ground." That tells you everything about how seriously they took his side of the story. Whatever the full context was, this clearly wasn't the simple man attacks woman narrative that the first accusation makes it sound like.